It's a brand new school year for APS, and the Loring Heights community gets a new playground. That and more next on City Talk. Hello everyone, welcome to City Talk. I'm Thermice Bevelle. Fire Chief Kelvin Cochran was named Fire Chief of the Year at the group's international conference in Denver. Fire Chief Magazine named Cochran Chief of the Year because of his dedication and leadership in fire and emergency services. Under Cochran's leadership, Atlanta Fire Rescue has seen dramatic improvements in response times and staffing. Back in July, the fire department reached full staffing with 4 firefighters per engine and 0 vacant firefighter positions for the first time in the history of the department. Atlanta Fire Rescue also reached a new level of responsiveness on fire emergencies, meeting the national standards for response coverage 81% of the time, and that's up from 65% in 2010. Chief Cochran has 31 years of fire service experience. Children all across Atlanta headed back to school. Parents and teachers at Adamsville Elementary were busy getting kids settled in for the new school year. This year, schools across Georgia will transition from No Child Left Behind to the new Common Core standards. Georgia is one of 45 states across the U.S. that adopted the new curriculum, which is the same for all students coast to coast. Adamsville principal says the new course of study will challenge students to become critical thinkers.
They need to be able to, read what's not there. They need to be able to infer. They need to be able to create something from the information that they've received. They need to be able to apply it.
Educators say changing the Common Core standards will make American school children more competitive in the global marketplace. It will also help kids who move to a different school district because they can pick up where they left off. Hundreds of Atlanta area kids received back-to-school gifts thanks to Hosea Feed the Hungry. The organization held a back-to-school jamboree at Turner Field. No student left empty-handed. They all carried away backpacks full of school supplies. The event also offered free dental and health checks as well as free clothes.
You don't have to go to school without the tools you need to succeed. Have hope. Believe in yourself, and that was our message to the 3,000 people that came today.
The Back to School Jamboree also featured games and other family entertainment. Neighborhoods across Atlanta came together for National Night Out. It's an annual effort by communities across the country to prevent crime and get to know neighbors, local police officers, and firefighters. At the gathering in Midtown, Police Chief George Turner met with residents and stopped to talk to Atlanta firefighters. Turner says it's important for community members to take active steps to keep their neighborhoods crime-free.
Well, it's important that we build relationships, that when something go wrong, that we're not starting from scratch, that we know each other, that we trust each other, and that we can move forward and try to resolve issues.
Well, I think one of the things that we're always asking people to do is to make sure that you take care of your community by calling the police if you see anything that is unusual.
National Night Out events across the city featured food, music, and fun for residents and their children. Loring Heights residents worked really hard to raise money through donations and grants to make improvements to Loring Heights Park. One of the major improvements is a new playground.
We have over 120 kids in the neighborhood, so I really wanted something where all the stay-at-home moms and dads could gather and bring their kids and really have a sense of community.
The leadership of the neighborhood have come together to raise money and to build this playground. And I'm just thrilled to be here. I think every child in Atlanta should be able to walk to a playground and play after school, play before dinner time, and so this is part of a vision I have for our neighborhoods, and I couldn't be happier.
A large portion of the improvements were made possible through grant money from Park Pride and Kaboom. Councilman C.T. Martin was inducted into the Atlanta Business League's Hall of Fame. The Business League's annual ceremony celebrates African American men who have achieved professional accomplishments as well as demonstrated a commitment to the citizens of Metro Atlanta through their involvement in community and civic activities. Martin says he is deeply humbled to be inducted into a Hall of Fame by an organization that has done so much for the city of Atlanta. Councilwoman Joyce Shepherd was selected to serve on the board of directors for the Diabetes Association of Atlanta. The association is a full-service agency committed to alleviating the medical, financial, and psychological impact that diabetes has on individuals and their families. Shepherd says as a person living with diabetes, she is dedicated to educating Atlantans about smart and responsible treatment and prevention. She is also co-captain of Team Atlanta's annual Diabetes Awareness Walk. We have a new segment on City Talk called On the Agenda, where we take a look at what's new with the Atlanta City Council. Councilman Kwanzaa Hall is working on legislation to protect you from booting companies. Hall wants parking lot owners to have pay stations dispense a receipt when you pay to park and provide contact information for the parking lot operator. He says too often drivers find their cars booted after they've paid for parking. Hall is working with several city departments on this ordinance. Councilman Michael Bond wants the city to crack down on aggressive panhandling. Bond says this is a tough problem and the legislation isn't aimed at homeless people, but at panhandlers who are threatening. APD says 542 panhandlers have been arrested in the last year. Supporters hope the legislation will help Atlanta's tourism industry, which brings billions of dollars to the city. Councilwoman Keisha Bottoms paid special tribute to Roosevelt Jackson Sr. She presented him with a proclamation from the city of Atlanta. At the age of 94, Jackson is the oldest living member from Negro League Baseball. He was a player, coach, manager, and scout. He travels all over the country speaking about his experiences in the Negro Leagues. A nationally recognized swimmer who grew up in the Atlanta area is now teaching young swimmers the lessons that once saved his life. City Talk's Troy Danicus has that story.
And everybody at the family reunions didn't understand why I dove into the water without knowing how to swim.
Sabir Muhammad has made a name for himself in the world of swimming. At the age of 16, he earned a full ride to Stanford University's swimming program. By the time he graduated, Sabir helped the school to win numerous championships. Since then, he has competed in several events and co-captained the national swimming team at the Pan American Games. But the event that set Sabir on this path could have ended his young life.
I started swimming after nearly drowning as a kid, and my relatives encouraged my parents to put me in swim lessons.
Sabir began his swimming lessons at the Pittman Park Pool in southwest Atlanta. He developed such a passion for the sport that his first job was as a lifeguard for the city of Atlanta. The city has a robust aquatics program that includes 4 year-round indoor pools or natatoriums, 12 outdoor pools that are open in the summer months, and several courses that teach everything from learning how to swim to lifeguard training. Now Sabir spends his free time teaching kids the lessons that could one day save their lives.
Now I want you to keep your legs going straight up and down, okay?
And that's really the whole purpose, is to teach kids to swim, to give them those swimming skills that will save their lives.
And he says that through swimming, those kids can realize the success he did through the sport.
So really swimming provided for me in all these different facets of my life, and I figured that the best thing I can do is share that with these children here in Atlanta.
For City Talk, I'm Troy Danicus.
Kick your feet, kick your feet, kick your feet.
If you'd like to learn more about the City of Atlanta's aquatics program, give the Office of Recreation a call at 404-546-6788. Dozens of people came out to Freedom Park for a water gun fight.
I'm an adult with 3 children that you will not see anywhere out here because this is war. This is serious.
Water guns and people, sunshine and fun. That's all this is about, man. That's all it's about. We wanted to create a community event. You know, we wanted to create an event, a fun event to just bring the community together.
These summer warriors were separated into red and blue teams and took the field against their enemies. The event is part of a larger national water gun fight held in cities across the country. The idea for the Battle Royale was originally started by a Californian and spread via Facebook. Many people took to the streets to fight breast cancer. Sisters by Choice hosted a breast cancer awareness walk. Mayor Kasim Reed, Councilwoman Keisha Bottoms, and other city officials came out to support the walk to help raise money to fund a mobile breast clinic. The group's founder, who is also Mayor Reed's stepmother, says mobile breast clinics are the only options for many Georgians.
Some people who live in rural Georgia, they have financial means to get treated, but they do not have access to quality care in their own neighborhood.
According to the CDC, over 40,000 women in the U.S. died from breast cancer in recent years. The National Black Arts Festival recently wrapped up here in Atlanta. We take a look at how the festival started and what it has grown into nearly 25 years later.
It all began in 1988. Actors Cicely Tyson and Harold Belafonte hosted Atlanta's first Black Arts Festival.
It was the brainchild of Michael Lomax. Dr. Lomax had the idea that there needed to be a major festival in this world, on this planet, that celebrated the art and culture of Black people of African descent.
Today, almost 25 years later, this homegrown Black festival has evolved into a premier, national, and international event. Michael Samanga is Executive Director of the National Black Arts Festival.
The NBAF's mission is to engage, cultivate, and educate diverse audiences about the art and culture of people of African descent or the African diaspora.
Every summer, diverse audiences come together in Centennial Olympic Park for a summer festival that includes an international marketplace, world-class music, and an award-winning book fair.
We've presented over 1,000 artists. We've presented to more than 2 million people. We annually serve more than 20,000 students in school systems around the metro area. We have presented artists from all over the African diaspora, obviously from the United States and Canada, but also Brazil and Central America. But we also program year-round. We do, as I mentioned before, educational programming in schools. We present artists throughout the year in various disciplines.
As the new executive director of an organization that is the only one of its kind in the country, Samanga says his job is to keep the NBAF relevant. And to do that means changing the way this 25-year-old institution conducts business.
My job is to make sure that we are a sustainable and thriving organization and institution. So the idea is to expand what we do from primarily presenting to also producing and generating a lot more educational and humanities-based activities. And not just here, but around the country and across the globe. Who will tell these stories if we don't? Our job is to provide the stage, the canvas, the dance studio, the film screen. Our job is to find the place for the storytellers of this particular story.
To learn more about the festival, visit them online at nbaf.org. A one-of-a-kind performance came to the atrium at City Hall. The Korea Children's Choir is currently on tour throughout the United States. During their stop in Atlanta, they came to City Hall to give us a special look at the show, which included traditional Korean song and dance. Thank you for watching City Talk. I'm Thermice Bevelle.